All right, good afternoon. There we go. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Defense and Veteran Affairs Committee hearing. We have one bill to hear today, but first I'm going to call on Representative McCollum to open us up in a word of prayer. Go ahead.
Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for everything you do for us. Please watch over our families while we're down here doing the people's work. Please let us have wisdom as we listen to this bill and do things for veterans in our state. In God's name, Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you. All right, Senator Kirkpatrick, if you could come forward. We are going to be hearing Senate Bill 398. And once you get situated, if you could just confirm the LC that we're all looking at, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The LC is 460760.
All right. If you could, go ahead and tell us about the bill.
Absolutely. If you don't mind, I'll kind of talk about the rationale
Absolutely.
for the bill
That'd
first.
be great. Thank you.
This bill regards the Georgia Joint Defense Commission, which was created by Senate Bill 395 in 2018. And its original mission was to promote and protect Georgia's military bases. At the time, there was a big concern about a potential base realignment and closure commission. That hasn't materialized so far, and as we've served on this commission, I actually serve on the commission representing Dobbins Air Reserve Base, and actually Chairman Bonner serves on the commission as well. During the past few years that we've been meeting, the commission has taken on much broader topics than just protecting our bases. And they relate to community engagement of our communities around our bases, relationships with our local defense contractors and our research universities, and retention of veterans transitioning out of service. Our legislature has acted on many of the recommendations that have come out of this commission, including the retiree military tax exemption, early enrollment in K-12 schools, and expediting occupational licensure for military personnel and spouses. So as you can see, because the mission has really become much broader than it was when it was originally envisioned, the mission has really become one more of economic development around our military installations and the surrounding industries. And so what this bill does is it moves the Joint Defense Commission from the technical college system of Georgia, where it's been administratively attached, to the Department of Economic Development for administrative functions. It adds representation from industry, USG, and defense research. This should align better with the goals of the commission and provide more ability to market Georgia as a great destination for industries related to defense as well as for veterans. We need to do a better job of telling the story of Georgia's many advantages, and this departmental move will help us to do that. Both TCSG and the Department of Economic Development are in agreement with the change. So you can just see throughout the bill that we've added a couple of members, and we do move around the state and meet at different military bases. And also, wherever it said technical college system, we've moved that to economic development. And that's really the heart of the bill. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. Number 27, Representative Kenny.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I believe this commission had in the beginning was more of a defense of BRAC, base realignment and closure. And will it still have some of those qualities to defend against base realignment closure in addition to the new, looks like a priority for economic development?
Absolutely. The membership is essentially the same. It's got the chair of both veterans committees, Senate and House, and that's front of mind for all of us and for the military installations. It's just that we've learned in visiting with the commanders that they have a laundry list of things that they want that are much broader than just looking out for a BRAC. So we're not going to lose sight of that original mission that we started, but we just need to expand our capability to tell the great story about our situation in Georgia. And it's really a marketing thing to some degree, especially for the bases on the borders where they have people transitioning out of service who see what surrounding states have to offer, and we need to talk about things like the Hope Scholarship and other things that may not be obvious to people as they're considering those moves. So that's kind of where this conversation started, and I think it'll be beneficial for the communities around our bases.
Any other questions from the committee? 26.
While BRAC apparently is going away temporarily, I just, 2 years ago, we dealt with it at Travis Field. The president didn't put the Air Dominance Center for the Georgia National Guard in the budget. And we had a meeting down there, and I think that had some input, and it was funded. And that's a strategic initiative. I mean, it's a NATO facility. Fighter pilots from all over the world come over there from NATO and practice because they have such a closed airspace out over the ocean that they have more air to practice dogfighting than anywhere else in the country. And and the secondary, you say now it's going to change the funding to economic development. I hope there's going to be a different methodology than what we use now and going through TSC. That's pretty burdensome trying to get reimbursed for that. I've given up on it. I just pay for it myself.
Yeah, as many of us have. I'm not sure the reimbursement has ever ended up being worth the paperwork.
Yeah.
But just to be clear, none of us is paid to serve. It's just some of the travel expenses. And like anything else with the military, it can get pretty complicated with the paperwork. So I think most of us just kind of do it as a labor of love and leave it at that.
Chairman Prince.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank the senator for bringing this bill. This reminds me of a lot of work that when Speaker Ralston was here about 5-6 years ago, he stood up a study committee to look at focus mostly on BRAC areas around the military. And so that study committee led by then Chairman Belton a couple of years. So I'm glad we're moving it to the economic development up under their umbrella, because that's what we definitely need to development in and around military bases. So at the proper time, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, one of the things also to point out, as a part of the legislation that created the Joint Commission, there is a reporting requirement as a part of that, and that's one of the things that the Commission has struggled with over time, and we do believe that this move over to economic development will help provide them the resources needed to provide that reporting to the legislature, so that as a body we're a lot more informed about what's taking place. I mean, obviously, with those that are in the footprint of a installation, you guys know very well just how much that community is tied to the base and how much that base is tied to the community. And whereas the commission did start out as a kind of a defense against BRAC, it really has grown into something that is almost for the military an ongoing study committee, right, for each one of these communities, so that every time that we visit, they, as the senator said, they've got a list of items that they need, everything from addressing their dependents to quality of life, to things like intergovernmental agreements. We learned with talking with our folks down at Kings Bay about how they were able to get some things they need from the Department of Transportation and things like that. So it really is a vital part of what we do in the state, and I think that when it's resourced properly, and not just with money, but with people, I think we'll start to see some great benefits from that. So, any other questions or comments from the committee? Chairman Prince, you had a motion? Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again.
I'm sorry, move do pass.
All right. We had a motion and a second. Is there any other discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Motion carries. Bill moves on to rules. Is there any other business?